This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
Welcome to the G-Spot Podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us for conversations around sex, spirit, and all things self-care. All things self-care. All things self-care.
This is a journey into sound.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
You are in G-Spot Podcast with Katie Silcox.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to the G-Spot. I am really excited about today's content, you guys. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a juicy one. It's going to be one of those things that just might change your life. Yes, I think it might. But it's up to you. It's up to you whether you take on this mini manifestation challenge that I'm going to guide you guys through today. We're going to talk a little bit about the science behind the ancient wisdom of basically how to create what you want more of in your life. We'll talk about some of the missing ingredients and why writing affirmations on your wall all day, or, I know some of you out there have read The Secret 5 times and still haven't achieved your goals. And we'll talk about why that might be happening in today's podcast. So I love talking about tantric arts of manifestation. It's really been a big part of my life and been a part of the way that I've created a lot of the beautiful things that we're doing here at the Shakti school. And so I want to share it with you guys because one of my goals is to help as many people on this planet, especially women, to become as powerful in this world as possible, because we here at Shakti school hold love and compassion to be the highest operator. And so if you're operating from love and compassion, and if we're making our number one goal love and compassion, all the other mini goals are going to be in the service to that. So we got to get more money. We've got to, as my friend Kate Stillman says, the bigger the Dharma, the bigger the dollars you might need. And we need good health. We need power. We need money. We need confidence. We need self-esteem. We need to be free from the past. And so we'll talk about how to get a little bit more of that in your life today. Before we dive into the content, I want to let you guys know about some really exciting news on our end here at Shakti School. We have a new Lineage of Love platform. If you're a listener of the podcast, you know I always urge you guys to get your hot little yoga booties into the Lineage of Love. But if you were on the fence, now's the time to get in. We have a new platform. It's so beautiful. We've put a lot of time and money into creating an online home for you to do class with me, workshop with me every single month. It's $18 freaking dollars. And if you sign up for the year, it's like $15. So get in. The cool new thing about our platform is you get a new video and audio practice with me every single month. You get a new PDF. You get a new month of topical content, and you also get to be a part of our secret club of lady tigresses. And I do a live Lineage of Love live Q&A every single month. So if you've always wanted to ask me a question, this is the way to do it. Otherwise, it probably won't happen. I get so much email and I read them. I do. I just simply can't answer everything. But if you are in the Lineage of Love, that's the time. You can get on our live Q&A, and we have a lady download meditation and live Q&A with me every single month. All of that for $15 to $18 a month. So that's my spiel on Lineage of Love. Get in now, bring a friend, and join us. It's really fun. So the content today, how to manifest. Let's talk about science. Tantra is science. If anything from modern science refutes Tantra, then we need to update the Tantra. And so really, Tantrics are just modern day mystics who love science. And what we find is that the scientists are actually coming to conclusions that the tantrics have known for thousands of years. And what we'll talk about, but I love science, and my brain does really well with science. Like if you explain things to me in a scientific way, there is something about a part of my brain that really believes it and resonates with it. And I think many of our listeners are the same way. And so I like to weave as much science and biology into the mystical anatomy of Ayurveda and Tantra. So today we're going to talk about your brain. You have something in your brain that is key when talking about manifestation. But before we go into that, I want to just backtrack a little and say we're all here and we're all listening to the podcast because we all have goals. We all have goals is a nice, beautiful Western way of speaking about it, but the way the Tantra speaks about it is we have a longing that lives in our heart. We have a drive. We have a pulsation. This word is called Spanda. It's this continual longing to become something that we're not, and then also a longing to return to something that we always have been. And it's this beautiful pulsation between becoming something that we don't feel that we are yet, and achieving things that we haven't done yet, and experiencing things that we haven't experienced yet, and living things that we haven't lived yet, and returning back to the part of us that's always been here and always will be. That pulsation is the heartbeat of human life. And to deny a part of you, to deny your desires, is where we go wrong in a lot of the spiritual world. Much of the spiritual world is saying, just return to the part of you that you've always been. But Tantra says, yes, and get really curious about your desires and get really curious about what's getting in the way of you achieving them, because that's going to really show you your relationship to God and what's blocking that relationship. And so all of us are here because we have goals and we have longings and we want to experience things. But in order to make change in our life and to really achieve our goals and experience what we long to experience, we have to recognize that there's a part of us that's blocking it. And I know this is so freaking true for myself. It's like you guys know what you want to do, but you don't do it, you know? Like I know if I would just do A, B, C, and D, then I would achieve my goal. But then I sabotage it. And so this is why our intellect, our buddhi, right, our higher mind is saying, hey, eat right today. Hey, get out there and make that business plan you've been wanting to make. Hey, you should probably quit your job before too long, or you will have lived your life in this cubicle and you will hate yourself on your deathbed. You know, and then we don't. There's something that's sabotaging. And so I want to talk today about how we can do the very hard work. You know, it takes some work to reprogram these tendencies. In order to do that, we need to tap into two very essential, I would say three. I wrote down two, but now I'm going to add one. Three very essential aspects of tantric manifestation as supported by modern research and scientific study and rigor. Number one, we need to become better seers. We need to become better feelers, number two, and we need to become better surrenderers. That's a new word I just made up. I'm going to repeat that. You can write this down in your podcast notes. Number one, we need to become better seers. Number two, we need to become better feelers. And number three, we need to become better surrenderers to the moment and to the reality of what is actually happening. So there's an image that's coming to my mind. You can pause and see it in yours. There's a goddess standing in the middle of a field, and she's raising her arms up parallel to the floor, to the grass. And in one hand, let's say the right hand, In one hand, she has the sword of activation. She has the sword of doing. She has the sword of achievement. She has the sword of to-do lists. And in the other hand, she's holding the cup of water. She's holding this symbol of flow. She's holding the symbol of the feminine, which is what is actually occurring, and surrender and giving way to the Tao, to the flow that is life. And this is the deep secret of tantric manifestation. In the right hand, you have desire, you have passion, you have fire. And in the left, you have water. And we have to hold them in equal amounts. In real girl, real lady terms, let me say what that is, you guys. 50% of you has to want it with all your heart. And 50% of you has to be completely surrendered to never having it. In one hand, 50% of you has to get up every morning and plan and do as if it already is. And in the other hand, you have to let go. Let go. That it may or may not happen in this lifetime. And that is super tough, what I'm telling you. But it's the secret. So we have to get better at seeing, we have to get better at feeling, and we have to get better at letting go of it all at the end of the day. Science and research show that visualization and coupling visualization with feelingization, feeling, is the only way to reprogram something that you have in your brain called your reticular activating system. Now, the ancient yogis did not know, they didn't call this part of your brain the reticular activating system, but they did know how it worked. And they spoke about it at length. So in your brain, the reason why we don't achieve our goals is that in our brain, we have one of them. We have a reticular activating system, which is essentially a network of nerve pathways in the brainstem, which connects to your spinal cord, your cerebrum, and your cerebellum. That's fun to say. And it mediates your overall level of consciousness. Now, this reticular activating system has several jobs, but one of its jobs is to act as a sieve. It's a filtering system. And what it does all throughout the day is it makes the decision about what it's going to let in your brain in terms of what you perceive and how you perceive, and what you do not let in your brain and what you don't believe or perceive. Now, I'm going to take a sip of tea. I've still got my February crud throat. Anybody else out there? Ugh. So this incredible filtering system blocks certain information and allows certain information to get in. If you're a computer person, it's a computer program. And who programmed it? And the answer is you. And the answer is not just you. If it were just you, that might be more fun, or easier. But guess who else programmed it? Mama, daddy, teacher. For me, ballet teacher when I was 9, and she told me my belly was hanging out. Right? And that started that pattern, right? Society, the school you went to, everything in your past, but particularly those people that had a powerful influence on you, particularly from the ages of 0 to 7, really powerful reticular activating system programming, that's fun to say, going on, right? So this reticular activating system is a computer program that's based on your past experience. And so if you constantly feel unworthy or unlovable or unloved, your reticular activating system, what it's going to do throughout the day is it's going to look for signs, symbols, evidence, that you are indeed unlovable. The reticular activating system goes throughout the day and it searches for pieces of evidence that actually confirm the perceptions and beliefs that you've held in the past. So guys, this is so big. And there's something called the confirmation bias, where we are biased to believe what we believe that we believe, right? And that's why we've had the crazy experience that we've all undergone in this country of the United States with our political world, and why you can present people with facts and information and data and they still won't believe you. There's studies that show that actually presenting people with evidence doesn't help convince them of maybe more expanded or better ways of seeing reality, but it actually reinforces them into their own entrenched pattern of thought. So that's why we love to read things that we already agree with. That's why we love to follow people on Instagram and Facebook that are like us. Why? Because it reinforces that reticular activating system. And so one of the projects that I did this past year was I signed up for a subscription to a literary magazine that's put out every month that brings in different beliefs or different perspectives than what I've been surrounded by in my community, which has largely been the yoga and spirituality world. This is a huge confessional. 2 years ago, I actually opened up my heart and mind, and I went out on several dates with someone who voted for Donald Trump. When he told me that he did, I was like, oh my God, no, I will never date you. And then I had to really check in, and in the end, it was not the right fit, right? You also need to be in partnership with someone that you have at least most common goals and ambitions and life path with. But my point is, I felt very proud of myself because I was like, you know what? I want to understand this person because he's clearly such a good, kind man. And during our friendship, which by the way, lasted a few months, I learned so much about the conservative Republican perspective on the economy and society, and it wasn't all bad. And it helped me to really refine my own belief system. So it's important to hang out with people sometimes that you don't agree with. It's important to read things that you don't agree with and get perspectives. This makes our world a more harmonious place, but this is another topic. So if you constantly feel unworthy or unlovable, you're going to look for things that confirm that belief. In the tantric tradition, we call this a samskara. It's a beautiful word that means a groove, like the way that water flows down a riverbed and it creates a groove, and that groove forms into the land and creates this vein that if the river dries up, you can still see that it was there. So these grooves are what create our confirmation bias. And that activating system looks for evidence all day long for things that are going to continue to confirm it. And you may think, well, what a jerk. Like, why do we have this system in our brain that's sabotaging us? And first of all, remember that we are part animal and part superhuman. We're part animal and part divine goddess. And so we're also in a human experiment and experience, and we're evolving. And so that part of our brain that has evolved has been very useful. When we were an animal out in the wild, it's good to be able to remember certain things that were painful in the past and avoid them in the future, or remember certain things that were beneficial in the past and to move towards them in the future. Your reticular activating system still serves you. It filters things. And so if your brain were taking in every single piece of information through your senses all day long, your head would explode because it would just be too much. And if you just look at like one page on the internet, a Facebook page or a Google page, any page, especially when you're reading blogs and things like that, they're now so covered in advertisements and sidebars and pop-ups. If you've ever noticed that, your brain is not going to be taking all of that in. It filters, and that's a good thing. It's a way of protecting our brain and focusing us to be able to achieve what we want to do. But the problem with it is that your brain likes to filter things that you already agree with, that you've already confirmed as good. And that causes a big problem, because if you had pain or trauma, as we all have had in our past, your brain is going to look for things that are always going to err on the side of self-preservation and self-protection and limitation. And we want to do the opposite. We want to expand. And your brain's like, oh, whoa, let's stay limited, because being limited is safe. That's why there's a part of us that, even though we say we want a loving relationship, or even though we say we want more money in our bank account, or even though we say we want a new job, we don't do it. We don't go for it. We don't allow it in when it comes. And the reason why is that self-limitation is safe. It's safe. And you guys all know this. Change is hard, even good things. I fell madly in love almost a year ago, and it was amazing. And I didn't just fall madly in love. I also fell into a relationship that was real. And for the first time in a really, really long time, I was with a man that called me out on my shit, and who also didn't leave and stayed in front of me when things got tough, and sat in front of me when I felt so vulnerable, like I wanted to run. Everything in me wanted to stay small and limited on one hand, and yet another part of me wanted to expand into what only a relationship can bring, and I mean any deep, intimate relationship. So the work that we have to do in terms of manifesting our dreams and going for what we want is we've got to reprogram this reticular activation system, you guys. We got to do that. And that is what we do here at Shakti School. And there are many ways, and I'm going to share really the essence of it today with you. But if this is ringing your bell, get your hot booty in the Lineage of Love. Get in and sign up for Ayurveda school starting next year, 2020, because we go deeply into it and we really hold your hand, and it is very, very deep work. But I'm going to give you the fast and dirty on it right now so you can start. We must commit 1 minute. I'm saying 60 seconds. If you can do 90, even better. If you can do 5 minutes, even better. But what I mean is 30 seconds to 90 seconds is so much better than, doing 30 to 90 seconds every day in your morning is so much better than doing like 45 minutes like once a month. I mean it. Just regular routine. We need to get into a regular routine where we can begin to see evidence in our life of the things that we want to draw towards us. In other words, we need to reprogram this reticular activating system to being able to filter in the evidence that you are lovable, the evidence that you should raise your hand in the meeting and speak up at work, evidence why you do deserve a raise, evidence why you have all the skills that you need to start your own business if that's what you want, evidence why you can overcome health challenges, evidence why your mind can heal itself if you suffer from anxiety and depression, evidence why you could cure your panic attacks, evidence why you can change your body and have the God body of your dreams, evidence why you can write that children's book or play that you've always wanted to do, or that book of poetry, evidence why it's showing up all over. I'm seeing the signs, I'm seeing the symbols, the people, the opportunities, the friends that come out of the woodwork, all of that starts to show up because your reticular activating system is now on the lookout for it. And how do we do it? We get up every morning, we make a cup of tea or coffee, we sit down and we spend at least 30 to 90 seconds visualizing what our life would look like, seeing the images of what it would look like to already have our dream. Seeing the images of what it looks like to have already achieved it, you guys. And so if you want to quit your job and start a business, you see yourself doing that. You see yourself with your customers or your clients. You see yourself in the service that you want to be offering. You see people signing up for your workshop or your retreat. You see the women or men who need the thing that you have coming to you and being grateful and paying you for it. You see that. You see yourself going to the gym and working out. You see yourself doing a morning movement routine, and you see and feel the body and how good it looks and feels to be in your power. Number one, you see it as if it's already done. And then number two, you feel it. So the question is, what would my life look like if I had this? I want to see those images. And then number two is, oh my God, what would my life feel like if I already had it? How would it make me feel to have this beautiful new career, or this loving, committed or non-committed, if that's what you want, this loving relationship that I dream about? What would it feel like to be doing what my heart longs, and feel those emotions that will come to you very quickly. And usually this seeing and feeling go together. You see and feel the positive, life-giving, affirmative emotions and visualizations of you already doing this. One of my favorite teachers is Greg Braden, and he's like, I love it. He goes, already here, already done, already here, already healthy, already cured. And he teaches his students to pray in a way, instead of, oh, my poor sister, my poor brother, like, please God help him, he's poor little thing. It's like, no, upliftment. See your sister achieving her dreams. See your brother achieving his dreams. See your brother as healthy. See your uncle as healthy. See your friends as happy. All these are the way that we pray from a tantric perspective. Already here, already done. And then, thank you. I'm yelling into the mic. Sorry, guys at home. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm feeling it in my own body right now. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? And then this last piece of the puzzle. So did you feel it and hear it with me? Number one, visualize, see it. Number two, feel it. Number three, thank you. Yes, it's already here. And then the last piece, surrender it. I don't know when it's going to actually be here in this reality, but it already is here in my body. Now, here's the amazing thing. Your brain, you guys, your brain cannot make the distinction between all the shit that happened to you in your past that really sucked and all the things that you're worried about that will happen to you or that could happen to you. Do you get that? Brain science says that. So science says that you are training your brain to have a different filtering system. Your brain doesn't know the difference between things that actually happen to you and the things that you imagine are happening. There's no difference between the shitty things that happened and the things that you are afraid of happening. And oh my God, the reason I'm getting so passionate is people think I'm just this bubbly bunny of Tantra, and it's like, no, nah, dog. Like, this shit, I need it more than any of you listeners. Like, and by the way, you'll know you're with a teacher worth her salt if she'll admit that. I just did a self-brag, right? But, the teachers out in this world are doing what they're doing because they need it more than anyone else. I am so good at worrying about the shit that's going to happen in the future. I'm really good at that. But doing this reticular activating system has helped me move out of so many limiting beliefs. And I know it's why we have the ShaktiSchool.com. And why we have hundreds of women now in this platform and creating the lives of their dreams and learning how to heal themselves through Ayurveda and learning how to move in a way that's not been dictated to women by men who want to control their bodies. Like, that has come from me really working through this shit that I'm teaching you guys now. And I continue to need this because you're never done, you know, guys. Like, we're on this life walk to do work until the day we die, to continue to expand, to continue to expand. So you start actually believing what you think. That's the way the brain works. You start to believe what you think. And so when we speak about this method I'm giving you, we're literally changing the biochemistry of your body. You're changing the networks of neurons. When we change this through our visualizing and feeling and surrender practice and our gratitude practice, I said it was 3, it's actually 4. It's visualize, feel, gratitude, and then surrender. Our brain encodes all this stuff as real memories. So when you visualize it, your brain, because it doesn't distinguish between what's actually happening and what you think is happening, it encodes this as real memories. And this is what changes your reticular activating system. What science research shows is that the more you do this, the more confidence you have, the more your body actually physiologically changes, the more self-esteem, the more security, the more a feeling of capaciousness, which is a juicy word, capaciousness, meaning you believe that you have the capacity to do it. When you visualize the day you want to put out and lay out in front of you, science says that this visualizing will actually help you have that day that you want, to develop the skills that you want, that will help you do it. Do you get that? It's amazing. Believing in yourself with this visualization practice increases our confidence and increases our feeling that we can do it. And it creates this positive feedback loop. We need to learn how to wed the images and thoughts and feelings that we have in our mind with what we really want to do, instead of vice versa. So what do I want you guys to do? What would really, really change your day? Let's review what it looks like. Number 1, you got to give it some time every day. Your deepest heart's longing deserves at least, a few minutes in the morning. So you see what your life would look like if you already had it. See that image, and I want you to start to say to that image, yeah, that's me. I'm that confident woman raising her hand in the meeting when I used to shirk down and keep my voice stifled. Yes, that's me. I see me. I'm that person getting up in the morning and going on a long walk in nature. I see me. And you begin to identify with the images. And then, oh yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. And I begin to identify with the positive feelings. And then I say, yes, already done, already here. Thank you. Thank you. You move into gratitude. And then the last piece is you say, swaha. You don't have to say that, but you can. It means I give it to God. I give it to the universe. I give it to reality. Because, guys, there's this beautiful phrase that man proposes and God disposes. It's like, here's what I would like. And then life says, well, here's what's going to happen. So we have to operate within coming back to the way we began, that goddess standing in her beautiful open field. One hand, she holds the longing. She holds the ambition. She holds the heart's desire. And in the other hand, she completely lets it go and surrenders it. I hope this was fun for you guys. I hope you're inspired. I cannot wait to see you in the Lineage of Love. Get your hot booty in there. I want to see you in there, because we do this together. We do a whole course every year on manifestation. Don't miss out. Coming August, we have all new content. So get in now, because you can get all the content from last year. And the thing is, guys, when you get in for $18, you don't just get that month's content. You get it all. You get it all. You get a whole school at your hands for $18 a month. We're going to end this super fun podcast with a word from our sponsor, my homegirls over at Apothecary. It's apothekary.co. No M, just a CO. You guys have to get over there. They have the best Ayurvedic inspired herbal formulas, kits, teas, tinctures, powders. Their names are amazing. Slay All Day. Another one for beauty and energy called Haters Gonna Say It's Photoshopped. Another one for your gut inflammation called Follow Your Gut. I love their stuff. They have herbals for skin, digestion, stress, fertility. And they have really awesome little kits that you can buy yourself. And the kits are cool. They're really great. There's a beginner's essentials kit, the Apothecary Classics, stress and sleep essentials kit. That's a really good one if you suffer with any kind of sleep stuff. A gut essentials kit, detox essentials kit, skin and hair essentials kit, immunity, new mom. I mean, it goes on. And then of course they have the doshas kits. So check them out. We've always put a link to them in the show notes and get their stuff. They also have the famous Ayurveda quizzes online. And so if you're like, well, I don't know what I need, you can go on there and find out more about your dosha. You can also read about it in my book, Healthy, Happy, Sexy. And we're going to put a link to my book as well. And so my book and the apothecary.co go really well together because I teach you guys all about Ayurveda, and then you can head over to their site and buy beautiful, sustainable, yummy products. So check them out. If you love our podcast, which I know you do, 95%, I'm making the statistic up completely. 95% of our listeners love our podcast. The other 5 hate it. Whoa. And that's a good sign too, because when you're speaking from your heart, you're going to offend at least 5% of the world, if not more. If you love our podcast, mamas, please subscribe, share it with your bestie who may not be listening to it, and give us a 5-star review. Subscribe, share it, and give us a 5-star review because that actually helps people find us on the iTunes and wherever people get their podcast. So that will help us out. And we want to keep offering you all this free, juicy content for free. And one way you can support us by to keep getting the podcast for free is, as I've said before, to join the Lineage of Love, $18 a month. All right, beauties, we're going to hit you with one more podcast before the end of February. And then we'll see you in March for Ayurveda for springtime. Have a beautiful day, and I can't wait to hear about your manifesting.
Put